I'm back with a banger video, audio, however you're going to listen to this. Super excited to showcase for you today in this video. And very quickly about myself, Kyle Wilson, the Angry Soccer Guy. Division II college playing experience, all levels of youth soccer, including the DA before it was MLS Next. Played semi-professionally in Europe, which means I got paid to play. Not very much, but did get paid to play. And represented the United States men's national team at the 2019 Futsal World Cup, AMF. And then I've also trained a bunch of professional players and generational talents. And today I want to be discussing with you football heritage. And this is something that I feel like is misunderstood and people don't really get what this means and what it looks like. So I'm going to walk you through what football heritage, what is it, what does it mean, and how does it impact my child? Okay, and then I'm going to also give you a personal example about myself. We're going to go through this whole piece about football heritage. Okay, and this can be translated to any sport. It can be translated to life, like business life. There's a bunch of things that you'll see here from a value perspective. Now, first, let's define what is football heritage. So this is my definition of it. And basically what it means is when an individual has a significant high-level background in the sport through their family. So they have a direct connection to high-level sports. So that means, in the example, dad was a professional player, mom was a Division I college athlete. So that means the player, the child, the individual, has significant background at a high level in the sport. So parents played, grandparents played, uncle played, whatever the circumstances, they have it through football heritage. So proceeding, we're going to talk about Sullivan, right? The new American superstar, probably a generational talent. Okay, he's signing for Manchester City at 18 years old, and he's also signed a professional contract for Philadelphia Union as a 2009. So the kid's 14. So as a 14-year-old, already a first-team contract, and he as well has already played in MLS Next 2, so he's already getting significant minutes against grown men, right? And I keep making this reference to people. Your kids, once they have the ability, need to play against adults. I say 15 and older because I'm not talking about a generational talent where he is a generational talent, okay? But the question then becomes, or what you need to think about and why I keep saying adult is, what does adult do? It prepares the player to understand what the realities of real football looks like. Is non-professional adult perfect? No, it's not. But at least it's a lot closer to what college looks like or the professional level looks like from a physical, from a battle, from the game perspective, because adult matches are 90 minutes and they follow FIFA rules of maximum 7 subs. Okay, so it's much more aligned to the professional game or college game than youth is, in my opinion. But back to the topic at hand, using Sullivan here. Him signing, is it a fluke? Like, is it just a one-off thing that just randomly happened? Is it luck? Or does he have heritage? So like literally 2 days ago, I was on a phone call with a parent and they said, "Hey Kyle, do you know about this kid, the Sullivan kid?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's your question? Why are you asking that question?" And he was saying, because he was like, "Well, I don't know his story. Can you fill me in on the story?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, what does that mean? Can I fill you in on the story?" And he's like, "Can you explain his process?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can. No problem. Let me explain it for you." So I explained his process and said, "Look, this is how it works. This is how it's going to work." And what it came to is he didn't understand that the family had heritage. And I'm going to walk you through the heritage that his family had so everybody can see what it looks like. So I'm going to keep this running here so you guys can understand. So is it a fluke, is it luck, or does he have heritage? And that's what we're going to look at here. Now, so quick research. We can find he is a 2009 player. Dad played professionally. Mom was a D1 athlete. He also has, I think it's actually more than 2 older brothers. I think he has 3, who both currently play for Philly. So he has one that is a professional player for Philly. He has one that I think was at the Philadelphia Union Academy, or maybe he is now. But he was playing for FC Delco before. Okay, and I think he has one more brother. Now, let's look at the heritage part that I was talking about. Dad played for 5 pro clubs in a 6-year career. He was a former college player, so he played D1. He played at the University of Pennsylvania. Mom played D1 soccer at University of Pennsylvania. His oldest brother plays for Philadelphia Union first team. So just in his direct family, he has a dad that played professionally and college, mom that played college, and then brother that is currently playing professional. Okay, now let's look at the next one. There's more to this. His cousin, Chris, played 2 seasons and well, 2 seasons for Philadelphia Union and for a few years in MLS, and currently is the general manager of FC Cincinnati. So that should tell you a lot. Okay, so his cousin played numerous years in MLS, 2 years at Philly, and also in years in just various clubs in MLS. His grandfather, Larry, was head coach of Villanova from 1991 to 2007. His uncle was a coach as well at Villanova. So if we're putting this all together, what we should be seeing here is this, and to be clear, this wasn't a fluke. This was not like a random thing that happened, and because of that is just how great this kid was, he made it. He had significant amount of heritage. Huge. So I will add, though, this wasn't necessarily planned either. They probably didn't plan for this to happen. Nobody can plan on this happening, but everything was there for them to be successful with it. Okay, so heritage provides the greatest platform for future success. Why? Well, here are the 11 steps that are found based on football heritage. This is the framework. Okay, first one, parents, or at least the family, are educated on the path to make it. How do you get there? What are the steps you need to take? Knowledge of what to look for and what to do. Yeah, you know what to look for and what to do to help your child get there. Understanding the time and sacrifice. What do you need to give up and make to make this dream happen for your child? Realizing the importance of patience. Kids are going to make mistakes. It's okay. Let them go through it. Allowing the player to make mistakes and grow. Also very important. So they can make a mistake. You don't always joystick and correct them. You allow them to improve. Okay. Supporting the player regarding their dreams. So you help them along their path. Guidance. You don't joystick, but you guide them. Okay. Finding a platform, so coach, to help the development process. You know what to look for because you're educated. Wisdom about the grind. So what this means is you understand that reaching a high level in life, whether it's sport or business or whatever career, it's a grind to make it to the top. Opportunities to play up. As I previously mentioned, he is a 2009, so he's 14 years old. He's already played MLS Next 2, and he's already played, or I don't know if he's made a first team debut yet, but he will, I'm sure, play for the first team. So that's all coming in the near future that will happen and will bring him a bunch of potential success. And then obviously, you know, talking about this, which I think most people don't understand, is the proper physical genetics. So because of his parents' background and family background, he has very good genetics to be an athlete. And that makes a difference in the long run. So I'm going to give you a personal example to summarize this. So my parents, and this is about me, my parents never played any sport above high school. They never did it. Okay. So that means I had no prior background for sport heritage. So football heritage. So no successful athletes in the family, nothing like that. I've gone through this whole thing by myself. Okay. So I didn't have any background with family that could help me get to this point. I also had very poor genetics. So I did not have good genes. And this is just based on fact, right? I had, like, example is my right kneecap, or I shouldn't say my right, both my kneecaps activate 23 to 26 degrees later than they're supposed to. Huge problem. That's genetics. That's poor. Okay. I also had very poor nutrition and hydration because my parents were not athletes. They didn't know what I had to do, what I needed to look for. As a kid, as an example, I had a Slurpee every single day, Coke Slurpee from 7-Eleven every day as a kid. We didn't know. So that leads to lack of knowledge. We didn't understand what it takes, what you need to do, why. Okay. I had to learn over time. So this means the chance of my success is significantly lower. Or just in general, somebody that has this type of background, like me and my family, means the chance of success is significantly lower than somebody that has this type of background, right? With football heritage. Okay. So if you have football heritage in your background, the chance of success is much higher. And it doesn't have to be just about football, it can be anything. But the chance, and don't get me wrong, it's not like it explodes through the roof, but the process and the plans in place can be higher. So the outcome chance is higher versus if you don't have it, like me. So where I'm going with this is I'm 31 years old now. I've learned all of this over years because we didn't have the cheat code of football heritage. So I've had to learn this over time, what to do, what to look for, why. And now if I were to do it again, it's like if I had a kid or when I have a kid, he'll have a better chance of success. I don't know about genetically, but because of what I know and what I can do and what platforms to use, he has a better chance of making it out of the system than somebody that doesn't have it. And that's where this whole thing comes into play. Now, How do you make up this gap? So let's say you're in a situation like me where you have this gap, right? How do you make it up? Well, like I've already highlighted, I had to educate myself. I had to be educated. I had to be aware, and I had to learn. Learn as much as possible, which is why I call, or one of the things I want to talk about is pay to learn versus pay to play. And how can you learn all this? Well, a great place to start would be to watch all of my free content on YouTube, like you're probably doing now, or listening through my podcast. So that way you're getting the information ahead of time, and it's free, so you don't lose anything out of this. I'm trying to help people understand that these gaps exist, and it's only widening, it's not shrinking. And that's because you have to know what to do, why to do, and the steps to get there. But just understand this, his success is not a fluke. It probably wasn't planned, but it's not a fluke. So hopefully that makes sense. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.